My life has been one of disorder, rules, captivity. You have no power, they told me. We control you. You may control how I live, but you will never control how I dream. There's something there. Something near. Mother tells me I control it. She wants me to have power. To have freedom. But at what price?
Thank you for joining us on the Down and Gut today. My guest is from London. He is an actor based in London. Tristan Pretty has stepped out of the audition grind to build his own galaxy. He is now producing a Star Wars fan film that puts indie ambition right in the middle of the saga. Thank you for joining us, Tris. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for that lovely intro. It's nice
I'm
to
excited.
hear it. Yeah, me too.
I saw the trailer and I was like blown away, and I'm like, this actually looks good.
It's right. We're trying. I mean, I can talk about that later. But yeah, it's all a work in progress, and a lot of people coming together from different industries who want to get involved. I'll talk about the project later, but yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. But.
So, I mean, what launched you into this realm? And I understand you're also producing this film. Like, how did this all develop?
Well, I've been a working actor for 15 years, and like 95% of all working actors, you've never heard of me, you've never seen me in anything. But I love the craft. You know, the plays above in London, in central London, there's loads of pubs that have like a theatre above the pub. It's like maybe 10 seats, 50 seats, and something in between. And I absolutely love doing them, and that's the craft. But I've managed to get some small jobs here and there. And one of the jobs I had was stand-in work. And most people watching will probably know, but a stand-in is you'll stand wearing the same clothes, you look roughly the same height and size at least as the principal actor, and you stand there like an idiot for 2 hours while they do the lights and you walk in between the places. So when it's time to shoot the scene, the really expensive person will come for their 15 minutes, do their bit, and they'll go back to their trailer. And it's great, but it's great networking, and it's good experience, and you hear the lingo, and it's not a bad job, but it's a bit boring sometimes. And I was lucky enough to have been a chap called Rory McCann's stand-in a couple of times, and you might know him as the Hound on Game of Thrones. And we're very similar heights. We're both beardy fellas.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'6".
Wow.
Yeah. I'm actually 6'5" in a lot, but I think with shoes I'm 6'6". So I say 6'6", but it's all a lie. It's all a lie. So I got to be a stand-in a couple of times, and I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I was also an extra on Andor in the Ferrex. I was in the funeral in Ferrex, just as an extra, not an acting job, but we all took it seriously. Anyway, so it's in the Star Wars universe. So when, very sadly, Ray Stevenson passed away, I shot my shot and wrote to Dave Filoni and said, "Hey man, I exist. I'm the same size as Ray Stevenson. I look the same, got the same facial structure. Get me in the room." I knew I wouldn't get it. And of course I never heard back, because you're not supposed to email Dave Filoni, you're supposed to email the casting directors, so I fluffed that. But then Rory McCann got cast as the replacement actor. and they know
Oh,
each
wow.
other, and I think it's going to be a real good honor. Like it's a lovely transition, and it'll do Ray justice. You really will. But then I got excited. It was like, oh, brilliant! I'm going to be Roy stand-in because I'm his stand-in. That's cool. I didn't get that job for whatever reason. I put my feelers out, didn't get it, and that's fine. But I'd fallen in love with this character called Balan Skull that was in Ahsoka season 1 that we're talking about, Ray Stevenson. Sorry if I didn't mention that earlier. And so I wrote myself a 3-page little mini scene as Balan, and I got a friend of mine say, "Can we shoot this? Just, I want to play it." And blah, blah. And he challenged me to write a bigger story, like, write something good, like have fun with it. So I wrote a 90-page script with a massive slave auction and a starfighter fight. It was huge. And then he said, "That's stupid, like rein it in." So long story short, I wrote a 30-minute, give or take, fan film about a young Balan Skull being alone after have escaped Order 66, living with some mercenaries, abandoned the force. He watched his friends die, watched his master, like trauma. Said, "I'm done with the force, just no." And then one day he meets a little girl who is force sensitive, and he realizes, I'm not alone. She needs me as much as I need her, and we filmed that interaction. I filmed about over a day and a half of that story, and now it's blossomed. So yes, I'm now writing. I'm sorry, giving it to a writer who made it good. They took my story and made it good, and we've blossomed now. So we've got a VFX team building. We've got a CGI animal in the film, so they're building and designing that. We've got a wardrobe department going to town. We've got some very unique special effects. There's a bit of gore in it, so we're having to deal with how we do that collectively on screen. We bought new equipment. It's blossomed, but a big ethos. I'll stop talking in a sec, I promise. But a big ethos in this whole project is learning. So I want to make sure. I used to be a teacher, and I really want to make sure everyone in this project, not everyone, sorry, every department in this project learns from someone else in the same industry. So all of our departments have a lead in them who have some or a lot of industry experience in their respective fields, and all of our department people, they're graduates, young people trying to get into the industry, can come in and learn from them. And I'm trying to do like knowledge share within the department so everyone can get a better understanding, like the wardrobe can work with VFX, work with makeup, all in one note. And I don't have a clue about any of that because I'm just a working actor, so it's a blessing in disguise. They can take over that responsibility a little bit. But yeah, we're all just sleeves up, let's get it done. We've got no money. We're struggling a lot, but it's fun, we're getting there. Anyway, that's the story. That's how it led me there, and then I found your podcast and thought I want to talk to Joe.
So being a stand-in,
yes,
for Rory, how long have you been doing that? Was it only for Game of Thrones?
No, not get. I've never seen Game of Thrones. Not that. It was. He was the villain in the 3rd Sonic movie or TV show, I think. Something like that. So I did that like for a week and a bit. Yeah. So again, I've never seen the show or the whatnot. I don't know. Not a Sonic fan. But I got to meet him there. He's a lovely chap. So it made me. I don't get a lot of stand-in work for many people because I'm not normal sized. So it's him or Ray.
Once you stand in, though, don't they like? Oh, well, let's keep in touch with this guy. He's my physique. Let's, do they ask them, oh, do you have a stand-in? Do you have someone that you like? Actors always have stunt doubles, right?
I would assume.
Oh, yeah, use this guy.
Yeah, I'm slightly deaf, and I do have an insecure. All actors are insecure. I have an insecure moment that they might have had to repeat something a bit more than once, and the director's like, "Oh, get me someone that can hear." So that's on me to fix. I don't wear a hearing aid. Perhaps it's time I should get on that. But I wonder if that's the case. But it could have been just they found someone cheaper or closer or.
Oh, you're expensive. That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Paying for a premium. So you're talking about Balan Skull.
Yes.
When you put on those boots and you go in for the price of freedom, what personal belief or life experiences are you secretly channeling into that character that audiences would never have guessed that part about you?
What a great question. Well, I've rewatched Ahsoka more times than I should have, and definitely concentrated on the Balan scene. And you always try as an actor to bring in your own experiences, put a bit of yourself into the character, but also draw on your experiences. And he did lose everything. Like Balan is a character that's basically said, I apologize for swearing, but to hell with this. You know, I need to go on my own mission, which we'll learn more about in Circle Season 2. And it's funny, I lost my father about 13 years ago, a long time ago, over it. It's all good. And it was a nice goodbye. So it's all good. But to this day, I still talk to him, and I still he's still a huge influence on my life. And you know, that loss is still ever present, but I use it as a strength or anything. So I definitely draw on that when I'm channeling the Balan character, to that focus on the loss I felt rather than I'm a positive guy. I'm a glass is half full, very happy, but I try and cut that bit off, and I'll be the more, oh, what have I lost? Woe is me. Oh, life is so hard. But he's still a very stoic character. He's still a realist. Balan Skull is very pragmatic, very straight-laced, but he's been through some trauma. So yeah, it's channeling in that respect. But of course, it's all still, as an actor, you get to play and pretend. Like I played serial killers before, and obviously I can't draw anything from there, but you channel that dark side of you. To a degree, but we haven't started filming yet, so we might in rehearsals realize I'm doing something wrong.
We haven't started filming yet. So what are the clips that we're seeing? Are those just snippets? And
yeah, we've got two trailers on our website, links below, and all that marketing stuff. With one trailer we went out just to test some new lenses we got some of the same lenses they used in Star Wars in '77, the same technology. They're new, but they're the same style.
What are they?
I don't know. I'll have to ask my director of photography. I will send you some links. This is I'm just an actor. I have no clue. But my director said it'd be really cool if we could get these lenses. So I went and bought them right away.
Nice.
So
I love that.
So the first trailer is us going literally to do a few test shots. We're shooting in the woods, so we went to a woods to film it. Like, how does it look? How does the sun affect it? Like, just the nitty gritty, boring. Like, and how could he use them? Yeah. And I have a Darth Vader outfit behind me, which is not dressed properly. So I bought my Darth Vader cape with me just for funsies. And I ride a motorbike, so I have my big leather jacket on. So I just wore my motorbike leather jacket, put my robe on, and we just walk around the woods, and we just filmed some stuff. And he made that trailer out of it, the first trailer. Yeah. And that was it. And that got a bit of buzz, and that was just us. And so that was us not trying, doing a few test shots, and why not? So then we made a second trailer with the actress playing the young Shin, where we put a bit more effort. We dressed her properly. We had a few more special effects and whatnot. And then since then, we've added music with an original score composer we've got on board, and a few more special effects. I've forgotten the original question, but it was just what you've seen is us testing. Us can the departments work together? Is the wardrobe coming off the way we want? So we're actually filming from March 30th, which is a Monday. We're filming for a week.
Yeah.
Boom.
And you guys you're on Kickstarter, right?
We were on Kickstarter. That sadly failed. We bit off more than we could chew, and Kickstarter, if you don't make it, you don't get anything. But our plan was always Kickstarter, then Indiegogo, and then another one called Greenlit, which I think is more UK based, but it's crowdfunding for films, but very industry inside. But we run into a small problem in that because we're Star Wars, we're not allowed to make a profit, or Disney will sue us. So fan films are made on the proviso. It's just for fun. Like, you can pay people, you can do stuff. So any money we make is filtering right out to the crew and things like catering and stuff. You know, it's all for the project. I'm making the film with a friend of mine called Neil. So him and me, we can't make any money. So it's all going. So the Kickstarter would fund for that. So Indiegogo goes live any day now. Greenlit will go live after that. We're talking to some rich friends who might say, yeah, sure. But of course, it's not an investment because there's no return on investment because we can't make money. So it's just people that want to support the arts we're reaching out to. And there's a number. So we're quietly optimistic, but
yeah,
who knows?
You know, I know you don't know this about me, but when I first started acting, I was involved with a group of people, and we made a fan film for Star Trek.
No way! Oh, I'm a big Star Trek fan. Keep going. Nice.
Went down that path, and same thing. You know, I was one of the producers, and it was definitely a fan film, but we had the special effects, and We'll link that in the show notes. You can
Yeah, I want
watch
to see. I want to see.
it was fun. It was definitely fun, and it was for the love of it. But from your perspective, obviously you have a love for Star Wars, so that's what caused you to kind of go down this path. What I mean, you have a lot of acting experience on your IMDb, so you've had these roles, you have a good rating. What part of you wanted to? Is this the first time you're producing as well?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
So then, when you look
This
at
all started. It was just me with my friend with the camera in the woods. That was all it was supposed to be.
that's how
Like
that's how it always
the
starts.
end. Yeah.
Let's go and shoot something. Hey,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So then, as a producer and head of production, when pressure spikes on set or in the process or pre-production, you're looking at the numbers. What's the inner conversation you have with yourself that keeps you from walking away?
That's a great question as well. I think I used to be a teacher, so sort of conflict management is up my street, and I've run lots of social groups, and I'm not an alpha male. I'm very much I'm happy to be in the background. If I need to take charge, I will, and I can, and that's fine. But I'm very happy to step back. I don't have an ego really about such things. So I've already planned mentally when we start shooting, like to say to everyone on the first day you've been on set before, it's like, yeah, today everyone, we're shooting these 3 scenes. It's muddy over there. You know, there's scaffolding. Be careful of that. All the safety stuff. I'm going to bring in a. All right, if anyone's stressed, you put your hand up and you say the word rhubarb or something. I haven't decided on the word rhubarb. And if anyone does that, we stop because someone's getting stressed, and we say, "What's the problem? Let's deal with that." And so that's my plan, to have a cohesive set where mental health is very important, because there's a lot of juniors and inexperienced people on our set who will become overwhelmed, and I want to be able to say, I need 30 seconds to have you explain this to me again. Boom. And so rhubarb, and we'll all stop. That's my plan. But of course, we're going to get a first AD to help release some stuff. Neil, the other producer, is going to be there. It's only a 30-page script, and you know, with over 5 days, so it's going to be compartmentalized. So I'm naively hoping, you know, nothing will go wrong. I shouldn't have said that. Everything's going to go wrong. But yeah, I think it's taking time, listening to people, and acknowledging. I love the expression ignorance is a good thing, because it means you have more to learn. Like we shouldn't berate ignorance. We should berate stupidity and unwillingness to fix ignorance. But ignorance is wonderful because we get to learn. And so I want to embrace the ignorance on the set, so everyone can walk away better than they were when they started, and hope people follow on that.
Yeah, I mean, as a producer, you definitely run. You know, we were rehearsing Star Trek. We were in the woods, and there was a running scene, and it was me. I fell face first into the ground, split my lip, and the other producer in one of the leads, just Joe. His name's Ben Andrews. He goes, Joe, I don't know how to tell you this, but you have a piece of wood stuck in your lip. I said, what? Because you know there's no mirrors. And he goes, do you want me to pull it out? It's like, yeah, pull it out. He pulls it out, and then all of a sudden blood just starts pouring out. So that had to go. And then by the end, and then my roommate at the time was Leo Roberts, who was also the director. And, you know, I'm like, do you think I should go to the hospital? He's like, I don't know. It's, you know, it stopped bleeding. Tilt your head up and stuff. And I looked in the mirror, and it was deep. It was a deep cut. And someone goes, I think you should probably get stitches for that.
Yeah.
So I did. I went and got a couple stitches, and then it was production, right? You're like, oh, great. Is this going to be out by the time we film? And luckily, by the time we got to the, you know, on production, I had the stitches out. But
oh wow,
stuff like that, crazy stuff like that.
But so, you could have done that at the start of a shoot day, when you're in every scene, and so you're lucky that happened when it did.
Yeah.
But these things happen.
Yeah, you just got to roll with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tris, on your experience, you've built a career on like intense, sometimes dark roles, shorts, indie projects. Was there ever a single moment on a small set that changed the way you think about power, vulnerability, masculinity on screen?
Oh, I love that. You said masculinity. That's a fascinating perspective, because everyone's got a different definition these days as well. maybe it's the British in me, or maybe it's just the way I was raised or anything. But like, I'm one of those blokes that will talk about my feelings, and it's not like to any. Won't grab strangers on the street and say, "Watch me cry." But I think we should talk about feelings. You know, if like, I'm pissed off and process that. Like if you bottle something up, you don't fix it. So, so some of the more powerful characters, you do have to. Maybe not powerful. Some of the more, I'm going to say toxic masculinity. I hate that term, but like that, some of the more generically men characters, you do have to sort of cut off that compassionate side a little bit. And it's in all of us. Like we're all primal, we're all apes at the end of the day. Like, there's. I was composing my thoughts now. Sometimes you have to look at someone and want to kill them, but you have to feel it. You have to, like, for a heartbeat, you have to really see them as an enemy, and you can do that as an actor. But I think I'm still probably holding back on some level, because I can make switches quite easily. Like I can go from "I want to kill you" to laughing and everyone's my best friend for the acting role. But I have yet to have that role where I've really like finished a scene and been like, you know what, I need half an hour to come out of that, because I mean, maybe not all actors do that. Maybe I'm lucky, but I've not gone that deep yet. But I welcome the challenge.
You've always heard stories of, actors who play villains and are the antagonist, and they go into a scene and they have the hardest time because they have to play this horrible person who usually, and they're not like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they take a little trip down memory lane or anything that can pull them into that deep part. But then at the end of the day, it's kind of like, well, how do I convince, like, because I think one of the things that you always learn is, as an actor, is if you don't believe it, no one else is going to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You have to don't act it, feel it, and the acting will follow. I had one film where I played a police officer set in England, London, and I had to cower over a man of color and call him the N-word aggressively multiple times.
Wow.
And he was lovely. And the director was as black, and it was all like, it's safe space. Everyone's like, no, go for it. It's fine. This is what we want.
Yeah.
And I did it, and I got into it. And at the end of every scene, I was like, bastard, N-word this, and da-da-da. And the end of the scene cut, I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, and every time they were like, don't worry, it's fine. And it was that was a challenge that day. But the team supported it.
I was part of a scene for Asians here in Seattle, and they were remaking a documentary, and the racism Asians went through, and they had pictures of all the slang on the walls and things that were happening, and we were all dressed down as back in, I don't know what year it was.
When was it set?
I'm sorry?
When was it set? What time period was the project?
I don't
remember. Contemporary? Or was it?
No. It was in the past, probably. Okay. I don't know, 50s.
Okay.
50s. 40s.
Oh, different America back then.
But I took a picture of the set and posted it on social, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, that's horrible!" Like, it's a documentary. They're just talking about that. They thought it was recent. I'm like, no.
Well, that's fine. I remember, like, I'm a middle class white guy, so I've been rightly or wrongly protected from a lot of racism and whatnot in my life, and I've traveled a lot. I spent 5 years traveling in my late teens and early 20s.
That's awesome.
And I lived in China for a year.
Oh, nice.
And most people, like significantly most people, were lovely and curious about me and wanted to share their culture and wanted to learn about mine. But there was maybe like 25% of people were not impressed and treated me like it was racism. But I didn't take it personally. It was just I was in the countryside. I was the only white guy for hundreds of miles, and I got, as a 21-year-old middle class white kid, to experience judgment based on what I looked like rather than what was in my core, and that was a real eye opener for me as a young man. It's like I never thought I'd judge anyone based on how they look, but looking back, like, well, maybe I did as a ignorant, stupid kid. But that education or that life experience really taught me to to not, or just reminded me, don't judge on race. Not that I did before, but it's like any part of me that might have died when I lived in China completely.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting perspective when you, because I grew up in that type of situation in certain circumstances too. But then you can use it to have empathy for other people, or it can use it to just become angry, like defensive.
It's a choice.
And everything's about you and you being attacked, and start blaming other people. But then on the other side of it is like, well, no, now I can understand. I can relate.
But that goes back to my ignorance thing from earlier. It's like, I know deep down that with probably a handful of exceptions, most of the people that would spit at me and wouldn't serve me in shop, it was ignorance. They've been told by their grandparents that the white man was evil, or who I don't know. But it was like, well, it's not your core being isn't upset with my core being. It's like your teachings are upset with my legacy. And and I think that's true of so much. What's going on in the States right now is that as well. We had Brexit here a few years ago, and there's a lot of hatred, and it's all based on nothing. It's not based on the people. Like, it's based on surface bullshit. Sorry, I swore. I promised I wouldn't do that.
That's all right.
But cool. Yeah.
When your journey, you've started as an actor, you've been on professional sets. What kind of advice can you give to someone who wants to be an actor or wants to be a producer or be involved in film somehow? What's the best advice you can, like, how did you start? Would you do anything different from when you started? And then if you're mentoring other people, you said you can bring on junior people onto your set. Like, what's the best advice you can give?
I'm going to go all Yoda now and just say do or do not. There is no try in that. You just got to put your sleeves up and do it. Like, I look back at some of my early stuff and I'm just embarrassed. It's like, oh my God, like, I was so proud of it at the time, and now you look at it now and it's like, well, that's not good. I think anyone that wants to get into it, you're going to have to work for free. You're going to have to maybe even pay to be on. You might have to pay your own travel to get to a shoot, but you do that and then you build up a show reel, and you build up experience and connections, and the people that make these really bad short films today learn themselves, and they go on to was it Edgar Wright, his early stuff. He did Hot Fuzz, and he's Simon Pegg's collab partner. His early stuff is funny, but it looks cheap and whatnot, but it's amazing. It's well done, and you find someone like that if you're lucky. And you just got to keep doing, and statistically you won't be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger or Meryl Streep or whatnot, but if you can get in with the right people, you might have consistent, steady work and be able to put food on your table, which is fantastic. I myself, you asked how I got into it. I used to be a teacher, and then
What did you teach?
Teaching English in China was the main thing, and then I used that teaching in other countries as well. But when I came back to England, it was the early 2000s, and the dot-com boom was happening, and I had a big interest in computers. Long story short, I became a computer programmer. And so I was a computer programmer for years, and I still am. I'm still a geek. And one day, a friend of mine, about 15 years ago, who makes films, said, I got this run of film. It's a really tall barman, and I've been a barman in my travels. I've tended bar all over the world. He said, it's like one line. I don't need to. It's you. Just do me a favor. Just do it. Just shut up and do it. And I said, okay. And I panicked, and I didn't want to let him down on set. So I went to an acting class. It was like one day a week, every Tuesday night in central London, to learn like what is a mark, and what does pan versus tilt, and how do I access this emotion, and exercise and warm ups and blah blah. And at the end of that, you went to Pinewood, which is our film hub mecca, to film a little showreel scene. And this is one of the things I look back now and think, oh, that was awful. But I really enjoyed the class. And the teacher said, I said at the end of the class, is like, how'd I do? On a scale of quit your job and move to Hollywood immediately to never, ever, ever go near a camera again, please. He said, you're like, well, don't quit your job, but you weren't horrible. Like, did you enjoy it? And I was like, I really did. I got to stand, computer programming is just this for 8 hours. Yeah, and then this little hobby I found, I was standing up. I'm a very vivacious person, and computer programmers weren't. They are now a little bit. So I took another class just for fun, and another class, and another class, and then I did some short films and more. And then I managed to get an agent, and then get another agent. And then I got on the acting register, Spotlight, over in England. We have a register called Spotlight, which you can only get on if you're an actor. So you need a certain number of credits or accolades or awards to get on it. And once you're on there, the people like Nina Gold, the casting director, and the Sophie Hollands, they're big over here. They might not be over there, but the big casting directors find their talent through Spotlight. So then I got into Spotlight, and then I got I'll say better agent. I can say that now. And you move up through the ranks and go on. So I started just as a hobby that I found I loved, and went further and further. And at one point, just before COVID, I thought, I like acting more than I do programming computers. Let's give this a go properly. And then the world ended, and all the work dried up. But I got some corporate jobs. There were loads of businesses doing like Zoom parties, and they needed hosts and compares and stuff. So I hosted a few quizzes over Zoom and stuff. But the work maintained, and it carries on. And I auditioned for things like The Witcher and Joss Whedon shows, and I'm getting in the room. But it's there's a lovely quote by, I forget who. I'm going to say Bryan Cranston. It probably wasn't him. He said it's like being an actor is like a flower in a florist. Like loads of people walk past, and just because they don't pick you, it doesn't mean you're not beautiful or you're not talented. Or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. It just means they don't need you today. But one day someone's going to need a you, and they'll go and pick you up, and you'll serve your purpose. So I'm just a flower sitting in a florist, waving at the universe, saying like, pick me. But that's, I think making my own film is a little bit self-indulgent in that I can say to casting directors, look, I can do this too. But
this is your first film?
Producing? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't supposed to be like this. Like 6 months ago, it was just some mates having a laugh, and now it's
wow, that's awesome. I mean, that's a lot of inspiration for other people to just
got to keep going, keep trying, people. Yeah, and connect. I'm one of my agents. I'm on my fourth now, I think. But one of my agents was very into social media, and he just said, connect with everyone. Like on Instagram, you go to a set, get the sound guys' Instagram, get the actors' Instagram, just connect with everyone.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's going to pop up on your feed saying, oh, we're looking for this, or there's this film, or you could offer to work for free. Just connect, go to networking events, genuinely comment on people's stuff. Like if you're impressed, tell people. Like if you can contribute, tell someone. Like the world, the universe won't come to you. You've got to go to it.
Now you had mentioned you're starting a podcast too?
We started to fund the film.
Okay.
We thought we'd monetize a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which we haven't reached that stage yet. So as a part of the funding process, we're interviewing our cast and crew to find out, similar to what you asked me earlier about getting into the industry, like we interviewed our VFX team to find out who they are and get to know them, but also what can other people do to follow in their footsteps? What course did they take? What tools do they use? And we've done our writer, our VFX people, our composer we did very recently, and we still got to do like our makeup artist, our wardrobe people, our director. It's all coming, and we're interviewing the cast as well, similar to this, to get to know them. So that YouTube channel, once we build enough followers and go on, we're going to continue to put out behind the scenes stuff and get to know the cast and crew and things we've learned and whatnot. If we can monetize that will all go to the film. That's not my money. So we're not starting a podcast, but we're investing in monetizing our presence to make this film happen. That's our sole motivation.
It's live though, right? The YouTube link?
YouTube channel. Yeah, it's up. Yeah, it's Star Wars: The Price of Freedom.
Put it in the show notes.
We have a website, tpof.site, The Price of Freedom, tpof.site, and all our links are on there and everything's there. And we got a full list of the cast and crew. So yeah, if anyone wants to support us, we're very welcome. We'll have the Indiegogo up very shortly. So if you want to throw $5, feel free. But it's mostly, YouTube subscription means the world to us. It really does.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know how it feels. So Star Wars. The one thing about Star Wars I remember as a kid is when it came to filmmaking, is the special effects, right? And I remember Photoshop or Premiere Pro, one of the first things that people learned was how to do the lightsaber glow.
Yep.
I still haven't learned that. I still haven't done it.
Well, now it's like not as far as AI, but now just there are plugins for DaVinci and Pro. So you just do it, and it just knows where the lightsaber. Like I won't say it's easy, but it's a lot easier than it used to be. Like
right, because before you had to like
crazy.
rotoscope everything, movement, each frame by frame. Yeah,
and it takes a little bit out of it. Like there's the AI Star Wars films that have come out recently, and they're amazing. And like you have to respect the storytelling and the technology and whatnot. I mean, it's a worry for actors. That's probably another conversation. But they look good and stuff. But if you can take some of that technology and apply it to your project, we have a big no AI drive on our film. But our poster, like we drew, and it wasn't quite perfect, so we gave our poster to AI and said clean it. So our poster is AI enhanced, maybe the word, but we did use AI, and we hate that, and we're going to change that. But we could probably we've got an ACK dog in our Star Wars film, which is a Star Wars beast thing, which never been seen on live action before. It's been in the comics and a computer game, and we want to bring it to life, and it's an important part of our plot. So we've got a fully realized CGI beast in our film. And we could probably do that with AI, but we made the decision of no, we'll spend the time, we'll spend the extra money. To be honest, half of our budget is VFX, specifically this dog. But our juniors will learn, and they'll have a great experience from this, and it can benefit so many more people. But the tools are there to do that, and I think 5 years ago we probably couldn't have done what we want to do now.
So let me ask you, let's go deep on that, because I've seen AI is changing so fast. From when I first started this podcast, that was one of my questions was, how do you feel about AI? It has changed so much that you can still have the performance of an actor and just change their environment. You put them in a scene, just no different than green screen, right? You pop them out and throw them in a different situation on a planet and all that other stuff and space and lighting. And I mean, you can do all that now. So why, with this creature, this dog that you guys are creating, why did you choose to spend money on it and go down this this CGI VFX?
I'll give a hippie answer in that, like I'm 50 this year, so I'm older. But
Happy birthday.
Thanks, man. In July, it's a long way away. But I still think like an older person. And I'm tech literate. Like I run an LLM at home. Like I'm a tech geek. I'm embedded.
Right. What are you running? What's your LLM?
I've got Llama, and he says Tinocchio running a few LLMs. They're my two holders. What do you call it? Environments. Yeah, and they run. I could boot them up and tell you more, but I don't really use. I have them, but that's cool. Then I just sort of left them alone. But it's so why did I choose VFX over AI? Mostly it's because in my head it's like, well, I need a CGI creature, so I'll use CGI. And I did some tests in AI, and this was 9 months ago, maybe a bit less. And
it's different now.
It is, and so I remember being frustrated. It's like a couple of the tests I did. I'll send you some links for you to share of my test work, and they were great. But when I said, "Oh, can you tweak it?" So maybe like one of them, the dog jumps at someone off screen, so just basically the dog jumping, and I feed the prompt, say, "Can you change it so it's a bit slower or maybe snarls a bit?" And it did it, and it was a completely different animal. Completely different. It was a different animal. So there was no consistency, and this dog is in several key scenes, so it had to look the same. It had to be controllable to the nth degree.
Right. Yeah.
And of course, we're shooting in a live location, so the lighting has to be right. And so there's a part of it. It's possibly this much. Let's have this conversation a year, like when I have to read. We're making 2 or 3 films in this. We're making a trilogy, hopefully. But currently, to make it look good and right, we need that control, and AI doesn't give us that control because if it was solely AI, then we probably would. But that wasn't an option at that time. But
that makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll send you some links and some images of the concepts and the dog we have now. We're trying to remain spoiler free, but at the same time, no one knows who exists, so we can't be too spoiler free because we want people
You
to
just
know
talked
about it.
about it just now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but the image is still hidden a bit, but we do talk about the ACK dog in our VFX Meet the VFX Team podcast episode. So.
Yeah. What are they using to create it?
Yes,
Studio.
I should
3ds.
know. Blender
3ds
was something that
Blender?
came up.
Okay.
Yeah, just generic 3D animating tools.
I think Blender's
and we've
free,
got
too.
our professional on the team is a compositor who has worked with like Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One and a bunch of other films, among other people. He's very seasoned. He's not old. Sorry if you're watching, Steve. You're not old. But he's very good at his job, and he's got the connections, and he knows quality, and he knows. So he's the mentor for that department as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But of course, we've got lightsabers in it. We've got one lightsaber in it, and there's blasters, and there's a little bit of blood we need to do. We've got I won't say too much, but there's a very specific wound we're filming, which has not been seen in Star Wars before. So we want to make that look good. But if it looks bad, we're not going to do it. But we're going to try. We're going to try.
Yeah, that's all you can do. What?
Yeah.
What do you guys use for lightsabers? I mean, that's one thing I've always seen props, and there's so many different props now, and like that's it right there.
This is Balan Skull's lightsaber. This is probably this is one of the, you can get some premium lightsabers from a bunch of companies, All Sabers, Theory Sabers, and a few others. This one I purchased from Theory Sabers. It's got a little microchip in it for sound and light. But I used this on the test shoot, and the light just didn't really do on camera, so we enhanced it or whatnot. So I'll probably have just a generic stick in here, and we'll use that. But we 3D printed a couple of these in case for some scenes where it might break, we can use it. So there's only one lightsaber in this film. It's Balan's. In the sequel, there's going to be a lot of lightsabers, because our first film is about meeting Shin, and our second film is going to be about training Shin, and then she needs to learn how to use a lightsaber and whatnot. But so the physical props as much as possible, avoiding VFX as much as possible. But of course, it's Star Wars, so we need VFX. So
right, that's people expect that. I mean,
yeah, indeed, it has to look pretty. That's the one. But yeah, that's our lightsaber.
So then, after you've in post production, you release it. Where are you sending this film? Where's it going to be? Where's it going to be homed?
Well, that's a blessing and a curse with Disney. Is that because we can't monetize it, we're not precious about it. We're not going to hide it and put it behind paywalls. It's like we're going to put it everywhere. So it'll be on Vimeo, YouTube, Facebook, like wherever you can watch it, watch it. We'll encourage people to go to the more premium websites that have 4K and have, some people have YouTube on the TV with surround sound or what. So we'll encourage people to watch it there. But you could watch it on your phone or whatnot. And we'll have a download link on our site, and it's just go crazy. I mean, if it's good enough that Disney get wind of it, they might contact us and say, can we host it? And it's like, yeah, sure, no worries. But statistically, that's not going to happen. But aim high. So it's a free fall. It's going to be out there for everyone to see as easy as possible.
I am reminded that there was a fan film for Mortal Kombat that these guys did, and it's on HBO now. HBO Max.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it can happen.
Indeed. I mean, it comes. There's loads of Star Wars fan films, and I admire the heart and passion that people put into them. It takes a lot of work, as I'm learning now. But some of them just don't hold up as well as the others, and it's a shame because with a bit better sound or a bit better effects or the acting, they took longer to rehearse or something. Like there's always a nugget, and we're learning from them hopefully to the story. That's the big one.
I've seen a lot of like snippets of fan films. I guess you would call it a fan film, but it's not that long. It's 15 minutes long, and it's just a bunch of fighting. It's like,
it looks cool, but it's well, we're going full in with more stories in mind, and our characters. We want our audience to, when we meet them in Ahsoka season 1, we want, if our films don't get superseded by law and canon, we want to help build those characters. And so every decision we make about dialogue and props and wardrobe, we have in our head, it's on a journey. Like we've planted lines in the film we're shooting in March, we're going to directly call back to in the sequel for a specific reason. Like we're really weaving in a character-driven journey to emphasize some of the heartbreak and some of the love and joy and just the whole gambit of emotions through the 3 films leading us to Ahsoka season 1. So the story has been fine picked for months at this point, and we're probably still changes to come. But
oh yeah. What's your timeline then to get all 3 out? Are you doing one a year or?
That's a good question. It depends on money. Like, if our first film isn't successful, or it's just not as good as we thought, or if we learn through our mistakes, then we'll probably push it back years even. It'd be nice to do 1 a year. Let's say that. The second film's going to be bigger, so there's probably more pre-production to be done on that. I mean, we start thinking about it now. So I'll say casually, half-heartedly, 1 a year. Don't hold me to that. I mean, shows like Severance is every 3 years, and so we won't feel bad if we're beyond. But we're racing against Disney because Ahsoka season 2 is due out this year, and they might have a Balan origin flashback, which makes our film completely useless. The fans will reject ours. It'll be like, well, why did you write this story when we know? It's like, well, we're writing it now, hoping it works. And we're fine. Well, actually, Stacia, one little thing on a tangent. Sorry. On Monday, I'm going for my makeup test, and I'm having my beard. I've grown my beard out so that they can cut it. Hair's done. I'm having great. They're going to make me look like Ray Stevenson, and I'll share some pictures. So at that point, I'll be able to say, I think the audience might believe this, or man, am I the right man for the job? I don't know, but more on that later. Yeah, that's the timeline. Editing will start like the day after we finish filming. Our composer has started to think about some themes, but they'll get a rough edit within a few weeks, maybe a month, to start doing the score for it. VFX team has started now. They know the shots they have to do, so they started doing those shots already. But of course, they can't composite it properly until we shoot and we get the right light meter readings and things.
Sure.
I'm saying things like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about, but they do.
Sounds good.
So all that. So yeah. So maybe we're hoping to get a trailer out for May the 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And then maybe some sort of screening in central London for free because we can't make money. So we'll rent a cinema and we'll say whoever wants to come and watch Star Wars film. And I'm already talking to some other Star Wars fan film creators in the States and in Europe. Basically on their dime, so we can't help financially. But if you want to come, we rent a cinema for say like 2 hours. Let's show 1, 2, 3, 4 Star Wars fan films, and we can all rent somewhere afterwards, have a party, so we can all get to know each other. We'll get more Star Wars fan films involved, and bring some casting directors, some industry people. So that's my plan. So sort of August, September time. Stay tuned. If you live in or around central London, keep your eye on the follow us on social media, and we'll be inviting you to that. You're very welcome as well, Joe. It's a bit
Thank
more
you.
a
I would
trek
love
for
to
you.
go to London. I know my wife she's been there once, I think, and yeah, it's one of those things where it's on our list.
It'll also be here.
And we'll definitely put all the links in the show notes. I do know that when it reminds me when we did the Star Trek thing, other people did show it in other different states and countries and stuff like that. We just gave them access and
I think I mean there's always Comic-Con as well. Like I volunteer at Comic-Con quite often, or every 6 months, and so I know firsthand that there's always people interested in that kind of thing, as screenings and things. So I might do that as well. You keep mentioning the Star Trek thing. How can I see that? Can you put a link below so I can check out your?
Star Trek? It's on the channel.
Oh, good. Okay, wait a minute. Nice.
Yeah, or I'll link it. I'll send you a link.
Nice.
How did you find the crew?
The director is basically someone I've done some showreel scenes with and some smaller jobs with. He's an actor who sort of enjoyed behind the scenes, so he's a professional actor as well. And I've worked with him a couple of times, and so I went to him initially saying, "Can you help me film this short thing?" And he's the one that encouraged me to make it bigger and bolder. So he became the de facto director, 90% because I trust him, and 10% because he's keen and available and whatnot. And his mates rates as well. Like he could charge me a lot more than he is, so that's nice. And then it sort of blossomed. I reconnected with an old school friend around the same time, completely coincidentally. and I mentioned that I was making a Star Wars fan film. He's a big Star Wars geek, and he shared that he owns 5 3D printers. And would I need a hand making blasters or armor or trinket, whatever?
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, because that will save me thousands of pounds on props and things. And through fair means or foul, he's the guy that became my other producer. So now it's very much our baby.
Awesome.
And through there, his daughter had just finished a screenwriter's degree. So I gave her the script and said, well, I gave her my script, which was awful, but the story was there. And so they took it upon themselves to make it better and cleaner and whatnot. And it's growing and evolving. But so that's where we found there. And they knew some people who were doing VFX at the same uni. So they put me in contact with them. So we got in contact with them. The makeup person, I'd worked with her on a couple of films previously. And she's a big Star Wars fan. So she's like, I'll do it. And she introduced me to a wardrobe person who's on board. Yeah. They're all meeting next week. And we're actually having our first in-person table read a week on Sunday, where we're going to hopefully share some clips and things for social media. And the wardrobe people are going to come. So how do I find them? Going back to what you asked earlier about getting into the industry, networking, meet people, get out there.
Yep.
All just people I'd met either in my personal life or friends of theirs and friends of theirs and friends of theirs. But it's a catch-22 because it's a Star Wars fan film. We can't make money, so I can't offer. I can't just say, you know what, I can sell this for £100,000, £1 million, so pay everyone. Yeah, I can't make money, and so that would put a lot of people off. But a lot of people have written to me saying, please let me work on it for free.
Yeah,
like because it's Star Wars. An example is our composer Callum, lovely chap. He reached out to us, and I'd already looked for a composer and met some really talented people. But he said, I'll work for free. I'm just finishing my degree. Star Wars, and my thesis is on Star Wars. Like I'm just Star Wars nut. Let's do it. And I said to him, if our crowdfunding were to make £100,000, let's just pretend it does. We get some benefactor that says, make it properly. Go. Then we're going to pay everyone properly. So everyone's on a scale at the moment. So we're low budget, low pay, blah, 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 blah. And it will grow exponentially. Until everyone's paid a proper wage for their craft and blah, blah, and anything left over, sequel goes into the sequel and we start again. But yeah, talking to people. You asked how we found,
I met a gentleman named Brian Sipe, and I don't know if you recognize the name. He was on Star Trek, our fan film, because he was the original guy that was on the actual movie who did the Spock ears. Not the original movie, but one of the movies. Yeah. And then since then, he's been the makeup artist on Mandalorian.
Jealous.
And so I will give you his info.
Sure. But even those contacts, like we've got our sort of department set and stuff. But if people like that can just say hello and support and share on their social media with other people, that means the world. And we'll do the same for them down the line. Even our studio, we booked a studio, one of the smaller, newer studios.
Yeah.
And they basically, I went and told them the story I just told you, like we've got no money and we can't make any money. And he basically gave us the studio for a steal and said, make your film, get your career, and just promise me, down the line, come back with Netflix money. When it's not your money, come back. And it's like, that is good business sense. It's good networking sense. And it's like, he's helping me. He doesn't have to, the manager guy. But he chose to. And so that collaboration. And I'll remember his kind gesture when I make it. And so, yeah.
That's right. Are you guys building ships and interiors and all that too?
No. All ships are CGI. Most of the film is post of a crash of a ship. So we might have a smoldering wreck in the background. But this is all budgetarily, it's a choice. So we're setting they crash in a forest, which lots of Star Wars films in forests because it's cheap and easy.
Yep.
But the original script...
That's what we did.
Yeah. The original script is slaves. Well, the whole film is mercenaries chasing slaves. That's the end. It's a chase film. But the original script I wrote had the slave auction and shows the slaves escaping, and it was a mass market with every species in Star Wars you've ever seen and ships flying overhead, which is ridiculous. So we're just showing after that crash. It's all in my head canon. But yeah, so it's just save money. So no, we talked about building a cockpit for the crash and stuff, but It's still money we just don't have. It's
Yeah.
if we get a lovely benefactor and we say, you know what, let's spend a couple of grand building a wall of a cockpit, then we might, but it's sadly not a priority.
We had I can tell this story because it's been a number of years. We found a carpenter and he built the corridor of our you know, the Phoenix, the Star Trek Phoenix ship, and then we all painted it, chipped in. I think I used a computer monitor as a touch screen at that time. I don't think we only got an iPad, and they did the effects, and we had a visual effects person, and then I went to IKEA.
Okay.
And bought these strip LED lights, like tons of them, and stuck them on the floor, and it lit up the hallway.
Oh.
And then after that, I took them back.
Oh wow! But that's it. You do what you have to, and what might look stupid in person looks great on camera, and vice versa sometimes. But you do what you need to make it work. I think any social media is a necessary evil in our life, and if people are watching as Star Wars fans, follow us on social media, whatever your preferred platform, and share our stuff. Simply because you're helping people's careers. Like it started out as a little passion project for me, but it's become so much bigger than that. And I would like to look back in 10 years' time and know that everyone involved got their start or a boost in the industry to go on. So you're helping dozens of people by following us on social media potentially, and just do people. Like it's, even if your phones nowadays, your phone can make something acceptable, if not good. Like there's absolutely no excuses, and I might have to play this back because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered a lot of the time, which is a failing. And but just do. If you're watching this, just create and connect. Yeah, that'll do.
All right, thank you, Tristan. I appreciate your time.
Likewise, this has been a delight. I'd like to do this every week, but let's not.